Hi, this is Asa, and welcome to my audio experience. Jan in Rockford, Illinois writes in an email. He said, just returned from Afghanistan, and the military doctors have diagnosed me with PTSD, or post-traumatic stress disorder, and I'm having a hard time sleeping. Is there anything that you can suggest that would help? And I'll tell you, there's a little bit of an issue with PTSD, and there's a lot of different theories behind it, but a couple of things are really, really helpful and very important. It's the brain chemistry, number one. You're dealing a lot with GABA, one of the neurotransmitters, and also serotonin. And serotonin, is a tough one because a lot of times the medications can work very well. They're called SSRIs. And so you've got things like Zoloft, that are really good drugs, and they do a great job at raising serotonin levels, and they can help in these circumstances. Anxiety is a big one too. The benzodiazepines can be quite helpful if that's something that you're dealing with, and your doctors kind of guide you along with that. So those are kind of what are called standard of care for treating those types of disorders at a very basic level. That's kind of what it started out with. It depends on what you're dealing with and how extreme it is. But on the other hand, there are some natural things you can do as well in raising those up. Now, certain foods can trigger the different neurotransmitters, the brain chemicals, at certain levels. One being a lot of the protein-rich sources are actually really good for proper production of a lot of the neurotransmitters. Vitamin B6, pyridoxal 5-phosphate, is very good as well. Some of the supplements out there can be very helpful. So you got 5-hydroxytryptophan, 5-HTP. That's known to be helpful too. It's supporting serotonin levels. And of course, your omega-3 fats are all very good too. So when you're looking at that, it's not just a cookie cutter answer. And on the traditional medicine side, there is, but on the alternative side, if you're looking maybe to talk with a nutritionist or a naturopathic doctor, they'll have some different theories behind it. So my encouragement to you is to get multiple opinions around it, because depending how severe it is, I know the sleeping is a little bit challenging, and it's very, very important. But depending on what that, the level of that is, will depend on the level of treatment you'll get from the different specialties that you talk to. So, again, I would look at all sides, because one thing you don't want is just to go and take something like some type of sleep medication. I don't want to name any names, but to do something like that and it be something that you become addicted to, and something that you do long term. That's something that you want to be very, very cautious of. They do work well for the short term, but you want to get to the root cause and find a physician that will work with you and help get to the root cause of what that is. Even though there's a strong emotional component to it, there's a strong chemical driver within the body typically. All right, hope that helps. 888-283-7272. Check us out on the web. If you're looking for one of our wellness providers that are in your area that kind of believe the same way we do, all the nutrition and lifestyle-based care, well, we've got plenty of them, and you might want to give our wellness provider team members a call and figure out if there's someone in your area. Great network that we're growing every single day. For grocery store foods that could be fake, yeah, believe it or not, some of the foods actually could be a little bit on the fake side. Here are a couple that they've actually found recently. Olive oil. Can you believe it? Something as simple as olive oil. The USP, which is the U.S. Farm Standardized Convention that looks over different food products and looks for food fraud and that sort of thing. They found 800 cases recently. And they found that olive oil has been replaced many times with other less expensive vegetable oils like walnut oil, sunflower oil, or corn oil. In China, they found olive oil diluted with gutter oil, which is a waste oil repurposed as cooking oil. That's pretty scary right there. So you see something like that, makes you think twice. Well, in some cases, olive oil was even tainted with lard, which was used as a filler. Might make you want to spend a little bit extra money on the more expensive olive oil. The milk was also found to be watered down, believe it or not, diluted with additives. The USP found watered down milk in India, powdered milk diluted with fillers like maltodextrin, which is a food additive produced from starch in South America, and vegetable oils replacing milk fat in milk in South America. It makes breakfast cereal with milk seem a whole lot less appetizing, that's for sure. Spices are another one that they found. They had a lot of fillers and added color. So spices like saffron, turmeric, and chili powder were found to be diluted or replaced with less expensive spices or fillers. Some types of chili powder were even filled and dehydrated with red beets or color additives to give them a brighter red color without having to add more actual chili powder. So again, trying to cut corners on the raw materials to save a little bit of cash never pays off. Seafood mislabeling is another big one. The seafood is significant as a moneymaker in the United States, obviously, where fish is often mislabeled to avoid food safety controls, and seafood fraud is a pretty big problem, they're saying nowadays. One example of a seafood fraud issue is the sale of escolar, a tropical fish that often mislabeled as white tuna or butterfish. The escolar can use certain gastrointestinal conditions marked by diarrhea and other digestive issues, and it's also banned in Italy and Japan. Other countries have issued advisories on the trade and the consumption of this fish, but the U.S. Food and Drug Administration withdrew a recommendation in the 1990s not to import the fish. Another example is puffer fish, which can be a tetrotoxin poisoning that can lead to paralysis and even death, is sometimes mislabeled as monkfish to evade import restrictions. A little bit scary of what's actually allowed. And amazing, in this country, some things are less restrictive than others, and makes you a little bit concerned. So just be cautious, obviously, on some of these foods that you're eating. So the olive oil, certain milk products, spices, and some of the seafood. Something to watch out for. 888-283-7272. Lines are open with questions about your health. 80% of the health challenges we face today are diet and lifestyle related. What does that mean? It means that your choices matter. The good news is, it doesn't matter if you've made bad choices for a long period of time. Today you can make new ones, and you can empower your health and empower your life and go to the next level. We'll be right back. Want to turn back the clock 15 years and have more energy? This is Dr. Raisa telling you to just breathe with LiveO2. LiveO2 delivers the right amount of oxygen we need for optimal health. Go to liveO2.com. That's liveO2.com.
To find out more, connect with On Call Radio online at InShapeNetwork.com.
Lines are open, 888-283-7272. Welcome back to the show. Check us out on the web. Also, don't forget our wellness providers, healthcare providers in your area that you can find that believe in this lifestyle nutrition-based care that we talk about. And also, really important, understand that we've got a really cool community that we've put together called our Lifestyle Community. You can check that out on the website as well. All kinds of great information. You get discounts on all the nutritional products. Of course, we're going to have videos that are posted regularly. So it's an accountability group to help you go to the next level with your health and your life. All that is at the website. And our new app that's coming out to be able to track fitness tips and also meal planning, help you follow the anti-inflammatory diet, the whole 9 yards. Looking forward to having that out for you very, very soon. Let's go to the phone lines and go to Stacy right now. Hi, Stacy.
Yes.
How can I help?
Okay, so my question is this. I'm 24 years old. I have been to a walk-in clinic doctor. I don't have a regular physician. I went to go see him for a lot of bruising. Over the past year, I've lost 70 pounds not trying. I've had 2 children. I've had a hysterectomy about a year ago. And my white blood count was really high. Well, they wanted to refer me to an oncologist. The oncologist that they referred me to, my insurance is calling it pre-existing.
Okay.
So I haven't been to see him. A few weeks ago, I woke up one morning and could not walk at all. My husband picked me up and rushed me to the emergency room. Turns out that I had a severe colon infection.
Okay.
I'm still bruising really bad. I'm having a really hard time using the bathroom. When I go to use the bathroom, I just scream, and I feel like I'm ripping, and there's lots of blood, and I'm still bruising. Right now I have a severe bruise on my leg for no reason, and so I'm just trying to call to get some advice on what to do.
Well, did you go to? I know you went to the ER, but did you go to your family doctor? Did you follow up with them?
I don't have a family doctor, and so that's the problem. I've looked into a family doctor. I've had some people tell me to go to a family doctor. Some people tell me to go to a internist, I guess.
Yeah, internal medicine. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely need to go, for sure, without a doubt. Now, there's a lot of it can be linked to your diet. A lot of times that's the case with something like this. So just so you know, that could be a major piece of it. But are your eating habits good?
Well, I don't
so
have much of an appetite at all.
And is that recent?
I just don't hardly eat because I don't have the desire to eat. And I work full time.
Yeah.
So I'm very busy. I'm very active. I do a mommy and me class in gymnastics with my daughter.
What is your height and weight?
I am 5'4" and I weigh 118 now. I went from almost 190 to 118.
Okay, I got it. So that's where you are now. Okay. And so the peak of this, how long did it take? Did it come on all of a sudden, or did it build slightly?
It came on all of a sudden, more rapidly over about the past 3 months.
Okay. Yeah, I would go and just see, and a good family doctor. If you don't have one, talk to your family member, someone you know, and go see one, just because let them do the tests that they need to just to see. It probably has, obviously the ER cleared you, right? They said everything was okay?
So they said that I was fine. I just had a really bad colon infection and that my white blood count was really high, and I needed to go see someone else.
Okay, what you did. Right. Okay. What you need to. So I would do that. I would go and I would see a doctor, let them run some additional tests. It would be the smart thing to do, because if you did have an infection, that needs to get treated, for sure, and then someone needs to follow up with it to figure out exactly what it is. Because we can sit here and kick it around, but unless there's a complete understanding of what it is or what is going on, there are dietary things you could start talking about, but I don't think it's worth really discussing until you've gone over and talked with them, because you need to know what's going on before you make any moves, if that makes sense.
Right.
You can start eating healthier and add more fiber to your diet, but if there's something going on within the colon that you don't need to add fiber for, right, then you're going to be working against yourself. So that's the smarter move. Tomorrow, like I would just go find someone and go in and have a conversation with them and let them do their history and look over some of the notes from the ER and then they'll be able to come up with a good game plan. Now, after you find out what it is, if you want to call me back, we'll be glad to talk about it. Come up with some ideas and kick some things around, and we can look at things from more of a kind of a lifestyle perspective. But, I mean, that's the smartest thing for you to do right now would be to follow up. It just needs to happen. So just find someone that, like I said, family member, someone you like that's you're close with, and they've had a good experience with the doctor. It's usually the best way to go, okay? But I'm sure it's nothing, but it's important to get that checked out and treated, and then you can create a better lifestyle plan from there, okay? Thanks for the call. 888-283-7272. Lines are open. Don't forget, check us out on the web, and don't forget Facebook and Twitter there as well. What are you dealing with? If it's heart disease all the way down to weight loss, or maybe you're dealing with anxiety or depression, body can change, but you have to want to change. And the one thing that I've learned more than ever is that when you're changing your lifestyle choices, it changes everything. And it doesn't have to be too difficult, but it can get to a place where you really can.
Hi, it's Asa. I'm giving you a copy of my best-selling book for free to help you in your health journey today. I'll pay for the book. All you do is just cover the small shipping and handling costs. Go to asarx.com and get your free book today.
To find out more, visit the show online, InShapeNetwork.com.
Phone lines are open, 888-283-7272. Welcome back to the show. It's your show. It's the show where your health is your greatest wealth. Are you a smoker? I hope you're not. Or if you were, I hope you're not. Now, anyway, longtime smokers are saying now lose a decade of life. So according to a new arsenal of evidence that smoking is bad for you, which we already knew, a large new study indicates that lifetime smokers cut 10 years off their life expectancy, a decade they can gain back if they quit before the age of 35. Using data from more than 200,000 Americans, researchers also found that the death rate for current smokers is 3 times as high as those who never smoked. With those extra deaths caused by smoking-related conditions such as cancer, heart disease, stroke, and respiratory diseases, experts hailed the study as a landmark, noting that similar studies in the United States were done decades ago on groups of people who didn't represent the general population. Because smoking among women didn't peak until the 1980s, the research is apparent. We're the first to examine the true impact of tobacco use in both genders. It's really striking, they said, a combination of good news for non-smokers, but much higher death rates among smokers. The lead study author, Dr. Jiha, founding director of the Center for Global Health Research at St. Michael's Hospital in Toronto, Canada. So we found a tripling of the mortality rate, and the men and women are now very similar. Women smoke like men and die like men. So the study is published in the January issue of the New England Journal of Medicine, and according to the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, tobacco use accounts for nearly 200,000 deaths annually in the United States, more than HIV infection, drug alcohol abuse, car accidents, suicides, and murders combined. All of those being a big, big deal. The American, Canadian, and British scientists examined data on smoking status for nearly 217,000 adults and, of course, looked at the benefits of quitting. Non-smokers are twice as likely to live at age 80 compared to smokers, indicating that smoking isn't just killing people in old age, but in middle age. The study said another startling find was that adult smokers who quit at ages 25 to 34 and ages 35 to 44 or ages 45 to 54 gained about 10, 9, or 6 years back, respectively. So even quitting after age 55 should net former smokers extra years. So it's never too late to quit, is what they're saying. Even if you quit by age 60, you gain 4 years back. It's a fair proposition. Dr. Norman Elderman, who's the chief medical officer for the American Lung Association, praised the study for sharply demonstrating the dangers of smoking and benefits of quitting. They used a very large database in this, so the chance that it's very accurate and very high. So efforts to eliminate smoking in public places and place higher taxes on cigarettes have helped cut the prevalence of smoking, Elderman noted. He said, but more research is still needed to help understand the science behind nicotine addiction and steer adolescents away from tobacco. Smoking, for sure, it's kind of one of those duh moments, but nicotine is one of the most addictive substances that we have. And people that struggle with smoking on a regular basis, sometimes it takes a diagnosis of a pretty strong magnitude to get them to quit because it's such an addictive habit. And, of course, there's so much involved with it. But interesting study, that's for sure. Quote for the day comes from Mark Twain. It says, courage is resistance to fear, mastery of fear, not the absence of fear. And that's very true. That's where your courage comes from. It comes from knowing that there's something in front of you and being fearful of it and facing it anyway. John, we're going to the phone lines to talk with you. How can I help, my friend?
Well, I am 49 and just got back from a physical in which for the first time ever I got a little bit of bad news. I have a little low vitamin D, a little low testosterone, but more importantly I had a higher LDL levels at 131. And they also said I was probably borderline type 2 diabetes. So I'm trying to, do some corrective elements here. I'm 6'2", weigh about 225. Okay. I've always kind of carried my weight well, and up until recently I was quite active and always ran, did sports and whatnot. But I'm trying to get the truth behind, what's the best way to lower the LDLs and fight this. And I get a lot of mixed online information regarding breads, grains, pastas, rice, oatmeal, what's good, what's not. It just seems like it's confusing out there.
Yeah, it can be. So your goals should be this. You're kind of teetering on the line with several things, and it's pretty simple. I mean, when you have bad cholesterol that's slightly elevated, which yours is, it's very, very slight, and you have a lot of these other issues creeping, like prediabetes and some of those things. One of the things you want to do, your diet is the key, first of all. And genetics play a role, but it's a very small portion. It's more of our lifestyle choices than anything. So the way you've lived up to this point, even, say, 5 years ago, and your habits have led to kind of this position. So you just have to kind of look at it and say, okay, what can I undo? What kind of new changes can I make? The biggest key is what you eat. So cutting out on breads and things like that, you're right, but it's cutting out the sugar. It's being real serious about the food you're putting in. So you want to do 3 meals a day, 2 to 3 snacks in between, and each meal comprised of equal amounts of protein sources, lean proteins, low glycemic carbohydrates in the form of fruits and vegetables, and then the good healthy fats like almonds and walnuts, olives, cashews, all that sort of thing. Goat cheese is even great. So when you start getting everything balanced, you'll start giving the body a little bit of everything that it needs where it can function and peak at a higher level. So just a couple things to think about. Those are actually very, very helpful along the way, but you're young still. That's the thing. So if you head this stuff off at the pass, which is what I think you're asking me how to do, then, your body will respond well. It really will. You don't have to be stuck kind of in all these preconditions and be worried. If you put in the work and you do and make the right decisions, then you'll come out okay. So I would just get on a good game plan, have someone kind of coach you on your lifestyle so you can pick the right choices of what to do. And then, of course, that's where your victory will come. So if you don't have a copy of my book, that probably is a great place. Go to the website. We've got good information there, too. But get someone to kind of coach you with it. That's the key. Because, it's more than a quick conversation here. There's a lot involved in that. The biggest thing I can tell you, though, is exercise on a regular basis and eat the non-inflammatory foods an anti-inflammatory diet. That's what's in my book, by the way. And it will give you a good layout and a good foundation for what you're looking to accomplish. But I wouldn't worry too much, but you definitely want to get proactive at this point. Okay. Thanks for the call. 888-283-7272 is the phone number. We're going to Donald now. Hi, Donald.
I have a problem with gluten, and it seems like everything I eat here lately just blows my stomach up, and just wondered if somebody could recommend. I know the diet, one thing to follow, but anything as far as suggestions.
Well, the gluten is a big deal, and they say that, well, if you're not, there's the anti-gliadin test, and if you're, if you come out negative on that, then you should be okay. But the reality is about 98% of people have some form of sensitivity to gluten. If you don't think you do and you think it's no big deal, I always challenge people to come off gluten for 3 weeks. Tell me how clear you are mentally. Tell me how your energy levels are. Just, explain to me how much better you're doing. And you'll notice a huge difference, folks that do that. So it's interesting how the whole thing works. It really is. One thing with gluten is it's a grain that creates a lot of inflammation. It also crosses the blood-brain barrier and can create some issues with brain chemistry, too. Now, this is not all proven with double-blind studies in the United States. A lot of this was done in Europe, and the information was kind of researched over there. But it's unbelievable how just that little bit of change in diet can make a big difference. Kind of the overall keys, three meals a day, 2 to 3 snacks in between. Those are all important, and just focus on certain supplements can be helpful, but it's your food choices that are most important. But fish oil is good, of course. Cod liver oil is my favorite. And you've got a lot of the different things like B vitamins, but enzymes, hydrochloric acid, probiotics, all the digestive aids are things you want to look into to use on a regular basis, because it really can get things reset and kind of get into a good spot for you. Because I know you're in a place where you're kind of uncomfortable, you get the gas and the bloating and all that, but that can all be pretty much taken care of. It's all about the choices you make from this point on, because the past doesn't matter. 888-283-7272 lines are open with questions about your health. Give me a call right now or check us out on the web. Don't forget, wellness providers are in your area. You find one in your area that believes the same way we do. Now, here's the key to your health. Make the right decision. Decide you want to get well. And then get the tools that you need to accomplish all that you want to. So if you want to lose 30 pounds, 10 pounds, 80 pounds, over 100 pounds, you can do it. Just got to have somebody take you by the hand, help you realize that you can do it. Remember, as Dave Ramsey says, 20% head knowledge.
Want to turn back the clock 15 years and have more energy? This is Dr. Raisa telling you to just breathe with LiveO2. LiveO2 delivers the right amount of oxygen we need for optimal health. Go to liveO2.com. That's liveO2.com.
Connect with On Call Radio and watch On Call TV at InShapeNetwork.com.
Go find it. Hit the ball. Go find it again. Hit the ball. Hit that thing.
Lines are open, 888-283-7272. Welcome back to the show. It's your show. It's a show where your health is your greatest wealth. What are you struggling with? Let's talk about it. Why? Because your health matters. It does. Whatever you're dealing with, know this. The body changes, but you have to be willing to change. Your choices every single day, they matter. Put the bottle down, they're saying. Everyday health day or everyday health risk of drinking. Here's a couple of them. So your young women, binge drinking is a little bit more on the rise. So the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention recently reported that 1 in 5 female high school students and 1 in 8 young women commonly binge drink. And the CDC classifies binge drinking as having 4 or more drinks in one sitting. Others define it as drinking with express purpose of becoming intoxicated. The study also found about 14 million women and girls binge drinking at least 3 times a month. Binge drinking trends among high school girls raises serious concerns. Pregnant women is another one. Drinking and birth defects. Pregnant women continue to drink alcohol despite the risk of losing or harming a fetus. Pretty sad. Unbelievable, actually. Alcohol remains the leading preventable cause of birth defects and developmental disabilities, and the binge drinking specifically has been known to cause miscarriage, stillbirth, and premature birth. College students, of course, drunk driving. Alcohol, especially for young people, can have severe impact on decision making, so drinking remains a staple of the college lifestyle for many students, but it's also a trigger for poor decisions. At the University of Maryland School of Public Health recently, they found that 1 in 5 college students admitted to driving while drunk. So drunk driving appears to be on the decline, but even for teenagers and college students, it still remains a little bit of a challenge. Men, of course, having alcohol-related deaths are always a big issue. And, of course, men and women share similar issues on the binge drinking, but men have a higher rate of alcohol-related deaths and hospitalizations. Always has been that way. Now, the other thing that's interesting with this is the teenagers and the risky behavior that's associated with it. So, I just think parents obviously make a decision to talk to your kids, teenagers, and whatnot. They're going to make their own decisions. They're going to do what they want to anyway, unfortunately. But if you can at least instill some of the information in the home, if you've got some level of trust with them, then they'll listen and hopefully apply it and make it part of their lives. 888-283-7272 is the phone number. Check us out on the web. Let's go to Will. Hi, Will. Good to talk with you.
Yes, likewise. I'm over at Charlotte, North Carolina, and I was telling your screener that I actually went in today for, I'm a truck driver, so I went in for my semi-annual physical, and they told me that I had some blood in my urine. As far as my heart, everything else, I got a clean bill of health on that.
Okay, good.
So I thought I'd give you a call because I listen to you all the time, and I'm always impressed that the way that you handle your callers and the information that you give them. So I thought I'd give you a call and see if you could help me out with that.
So the blood in the urine, and they're not telling you anything, or do they tell you it was a kidney infection, kidney stone? What were they saying?
Well, in all actuality, the doctor said that he wasn't overly concerned because it was just a small, excuse me, I'm cutting my truck off here. It was only a small amount that he detected. However, I'm taking 2 different types of medication. One is prednisone, and the other one is Zyrtec here, and that was tied to a situation that took me by surprise probably about 9 months, close to a year ago. I had a breakout of hives for some reason or another. I've never been sickly, anything like that. I'm 51. I'll be 52 in a matter of days now. And always been a gym rat and all of that. Very healthy. Always watch my eating. However, I haven't been able to shake, the situation with the hives. If I miss taking the medication on the regular for a day or so, I'll usually get a breakout again. So I was just curious as to whether those 2 things was connected in any way.
Well, as far as the blood in the urine goes, probably not. But I mean, I just, the one thing you want to do, if you've got a little bit, no injury, no trauma, right? From that.
That's correct.
That's correct. Yeah. Sometimes it could just be an issue. Like I said, you could have, with a little bit of blood like that in the urine, sometimes it could be calcium oxalate stones, which are kidney stones, coming through the ureters, but they're not big enough to where they get, they really grind and hurt and create a lot of pain. So sometimes that could be something that you're dealing with. That's a possibility. But more than anything, working on your lifestyle choices is going to help everything else. I mean, finding out what your core nutritional deficiencies are, if you have any, is going to be important too. So, I mean, you get a blood test done with your physician. That's a good way to go just because it kind of lays the foundation. It'll give you a good just overview of what you're dealing with. So that's one thing to look at. And then from a kind of a natural and nutritional perspective, your supplementation can be helpful, but it's really going to come down to staying hydrated and keeping things healthy. Now, I'm just surprised. I guess if they did all the blood tests and there was no infection, they would have seen it. So they would have treated it at that level. So, yeah, I mean, that's what I would do. I would look into someone that can work with you on diet. And, I would just look at all options along that.
Did you know you can listen to the ASA RX audio experience on Spotify and Pandora? For all the ways to watch and listen, check out our show page at asarx.com/experience.
Hi, it's Asa. I'm giving you a copy of my best-selling book for free to help you in your health journey today. I'll pay for the book. All you do is just cover the small shipping and handling costs. Go to asarx.com and get your free book today.
This episode is over, but check episode notes for links to products and services you've heard about on this episode. Thanks for listening and subscribing. Please share the ASA RX audio experience with others and stay in touch by giving us your comment or review.